baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark. Mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark, do 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 do, mommy shark.
Daddy shark, do 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 do, daddy shark, do 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 do, daddy shark, do 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 do, daddy shark.
Grandma shark.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. I am Alex the leader, play as the best midfielder. When I see the post, I pass to the shooter. And this is my beautiful wife.
He just added that one. Olajumoke. Welcome back to our channel. How are you guys doing? We hope you're doing okay. So we're continuing from, it's been like a series, right? So I'll continue from our last video where we talked about our wedding and how we got married. Okay, so
And if you've not seen that video, you can
it's up here. The link is up here. Yeah, for that.
maybe here, maybe here.
Yeah.
We shall one place, yeah.
Yeah. So continuing from there, so we had gotten married. Now remember we said in the video that we had a condition that we had to meet, where he had to have worked for a particular time. So now he had to leave the job to come back home and marry me, right? So
And I did. So the plan was to come back to Canada and look for a job that is in my field in power engineering. So I came, I started applying, and I decided that okay, I think that was November. Yeah, November.
yeah, it was November he came back to
Yeah,
Canada.
so I decided that okay, let my wife come to America, at least take the fresh air, and I think the brother was living in Michigan, and it's just 2 hours drive away from me in London.
Ontario.
Ontario, yeah. So I decided, okay, let's book a ticket, round trip ticket for her to come and just relax. And one fateful day, my wife decided to do yard sale. She sold almost all her, most of her clothes and her sewing machines, and it's just almost everything. But I just kept quiet. I think deep down, I was like, maybe let's just faith. Maybe it's part of faith. I just believed, and I didn't even say anything. Right? I just allowed her to just do what she wanted.
So the plan was just come and just take some fresh air, right? Just leave the environment you're in for a little while, and
Be close to me.
be close to him so we can be seen. We're married now. We don't want to be far away from each other, like that distance. We didn't want to do that anymore. So just go stay with your brother in Michigan, and we can be seen like every 2 weeks at the very least. Now I know he's always dissing me that I told you to just come and receive breeze. Now when I heard that, I decided I was gonna leave the country. Like for me, that was it, because what am I doing here? Why am I going to America to come back to Nigeria? What for? We can work whatever it is we want to do from America. So I just decided that I was gonna move. And then when I told him that I'm going to sell all my machines, I'm ready for the move, he was shocked, but he didn't want to discourage me because we're working in faith, right? So that was it. I just sold all my things. I sold all my clothes to my business in Nigeria, and I'm like, yep, it's time. Yeah. And another thing is that the ginger was more for me, because have you ever been a married woman living in your father's house? Have you? If you've ever been in that situation, I think it will hit you closer to home, and you understand why I needed to get out of my father's house. I needed to leave. So that was it though.
So she came to America. I think she had the opportunity to visit all her brothers in America.
Yeah, I went to see everyone, like
Yeah.
at least everybody.
So
So I went to New York.
I'm here. Martin. The tourist sitting down on the floor, tired, devastated from waiting too long in the cold. More tourists.
To see my brother in New York. I went to Delaware. Yeah, I mentioned I have 5 brothers, right? So I just went around, saw everyone. Then I now landed in Michigan. Before then, I'd already asked my brother in Michigan, like, okay, I told him that this is what is happening. I want to close my business and move. Is it okay if I come and stay with you for a few months? or like till we sort this thing out. And he was like, no problem, like why not? So that was it. I just moved. So I started staying there. So now we so I left in December, but I didn't get to Michigan until January. So when we now saw each other in January, my husband had added weight when I saw my husband. And when I was like, baby, you've added weight. Next he said, Canada does not want to give me a job.
So then, actually, I think like I said, I stopped my produce associate job because I was just tired of that job. So I was doing Uber at the time. So you know how, and it was winter.
Yeah,
right?
it was winter, yeah.
So you drive, I basically just sit all through. I go home, I sit, I drive, I sit, I was just accumulated. I think I started gaining weight
From Nigeria,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So
from
I
Nigeria.
started there.
So yeah, so when we saw her and everything, we're really happy to see each other and all that stuff. But now, there was now the thing of, so a lot of things were hinged on it. So for instance, to be able to work my spousal work permit, he needed to have worked in his class. Like, so he studied power engineering. So he needed to have worked.
Not really class, just to work, at least have a full-time job.
Yeah, okay, have a full time.
Assuming I was still working in that produce associate job, would have been able to.
Yeah, okay,
Right, but
okay. So,
I was just tired of it.
yeah, so he was tired of it, and he needed another job and to be working, to be able to work my own spousal work visa, right? So that was the condition. But however, he wasn't working at the moment. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna wait till you get a job, right? And then we're gonna apply for this thing. So now when I was with my brother in January, we were just gisting one day in the kitchen, and my sister-in-law was like, oh, I don't think you should only just wait for a spousal visa. Why don't you try everything? Why don't you try visiting? Why don't you try study? We should try everything, like on waja, like in the sense that there isn't just one way into the market. So she told me that in January, but I was just like, okay, I'll think about it. So from that January, I'm like, okay, you know what? Why don't I actually try school? So I started looking for schools I would like to attend, for fashion, and I just started applying to those schools. And but I didn't bother with the visit, and we're still waiting on the job. January came and went.
Yeah.
February came and went. March. So while we're in our waiting period, one thing that I really, really have to say is that whenever we saw each other, we're always happy.
His husband is doing the best.
Yeah, I hear you. We were always praying, and we were always trusting. We always knew that, look, God is going to come through for us. God is going to come through. Now, because I was visiting in America, I wasn't supposed to be there for more than 6 months. So we just believed that before that 6 months runs out, God is going to have sorted out this thing and you're going to join me in Canada. So our waiting period, I remember times when it comes to America and it's just like, oh, babe, I'm so tired. And I'm like, oh, don't worry. God is going to come through. We can't wait. My husband went for interview, Sha.
Yeah, so but the good thing was that they were calling me for interviews.
Yeah.
So it showed that I was actually doing the right thing. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so my resume was pretty good, at least for companies to call and say, okay, come, let's have a chat.
He went around.
So I was just traveling.
London, Halton.
There were some cities that on a normal day my leg would not reach that city, but because of jobs, but it was a good time. But one thing I did was that to people I was always still smiling, right? I was just I was still happy. I knew that at least one day
One day it will end.
Yes.
Because his friends were like that, they could not be in the position that he was and still be cheerful and still be happy. I'm just like, we're living on Jesus' joy, man. Like, that's what we're operating on. We're operating on God's joy, and we just know that it's going to be sorted out.
Yeah. So that's, and one thing too is that for me, right, and I told her that no matter what, if our future or our destiny is in Nigeria,
then we're going to
then
go back
we're gonna
home.
go back home.
It wasn't
So
a deal with that.
So God is just going to direct us basically.
Yeah.
So that was it. So we just kept our faith on God,
Yes.
so that God can actually direct us,
Mhm.
and He did. And March was
Yeah, so all right. So sometime in early March, one morning, I had just done my devotion, and I think I was just pressing my phone, and I just heard it clearly in my spirit. You should apply for a visit visa. So I thought about it, like, apply for a visit visa. Like, first of all, I just knew that it was not me that thought that up, because for me it was I wasn't gonna bother with that at all, and I just heard that clear as day in my spirit. So when I heard that, I called my husband and I told him that I heard this. What do you think? And he was like, if you are sure that you've heard it, let us not second guess it. Now, sometimes even when you hear something clearly in your spirit, by the time you start to think and overthink, you start to second guess it. So I told him, I was like, let's not second guess it, let's run with it. I'm like, okay, great. So what I'm going to do is that anyone that I hear first upstairs, because I was in the basement, anyone I hear first is like either my brother or my sister, his wife, any one of them I hear, I'm just going to go up there and tell them about it. So when I got upstairs, my brother had gone to pick the kids from school, and it was him that I saw first. And I told him that, I just heard this thing in my spirit, like, apply for the visit visa. And he was like, yes, you should totally go for it. Like, if you're sure that's what you heard, then you should totally do it. And I'm like, okay, great. So that was how we just started. Like, that was how. And then within a week,
I think we had to gather the
documents.
Document.
Yeah.
So I think your brother served as a sponsor.
Yeah, the one I was saying, we just served, it was my sponsor and all of that. So we just compiled the application
Everything
together, like, really quickly.
Within 1 week.
Yeah, within a week. And my sister-in-law is also like an immigration lawyer.
She helped with
she helped
with the sponsorship
personal
letter
statement.
and personal statement.
Yeah, so it was really like, and they were very encouraging, like, you should totally do this. And then, okay, so what now happened was, we had this agent in Nigeria, like, she was supposed to help us file our spousal work permit, right? Now, I decided to just reach out to her, like, I'm thinking of applying for a visitor's visa. And she's like, don't bother, they won't give it to you. Plain and simple. She just shut it down like that. And I told my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law was like, you don't need to ask her anything. We're running like a prayer chain now, the four of us. The four of us are going to agree on this thing. We're going to send out this application, and it's going to work. And I was like, okay, great. So me and my husband decided to even fast about it. Like, we fasted and, we're praying. We did like 3 days. Now, after we sent in the application, the next day I got a letter. Like, I got a message to go for biometrics, to book a time for biometrics and do it and submit it. Now, I need to mention that I almost got discouraged as well, because when I checked the process time from the US on their website, it was 53 days to process. I'm like, that's a long time. My brother was like, it doesn't matter. I mean, still put in the application for 3 days. So, like, this is just March.
So it's better you start
early. You still have time and all that. I'm like, okay, great. So, so we put in the application on a Wednesday. I got the message to do biometrics on a Thursday.
So
on the next day.
Yeah, mind you, I was in Canada.
Yeah, he was in Canada.
So
I was in America.
I think I made sure I booked. You couldn't book it, so I booked.
Yeah, so he booked the biometrics for me, and the earliest time we actually saw was the next Wednesday. So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's just book that Wednesday. So we booked the next Wednesday. It was in Detroit, like the immigration office was in Detroit. So my brother took me there, did the biometrics.
And that Wednesday I came to America.
Yeah, that Wednesday came to America. That same Wednesday. But I done my biometrics in the morning, and we're just there, just happy in our little bubble. Like, we're always in that bubble whenever we see. And my brother and his wife were so amazing to us. Like,
they're amazing people.
It was home. So it was actually our home, and the kids, sweet kids. So it was our home. We're just like super happy and super comfortable there. Now, on The next
The
day,
next day, yeah.
we got a message like, oh, like there's an update in your application, and then we checked. So I think we now made it.
I checked.
So he checked.
I checked. I think when I saw the email and it was like, bring your passport.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations, it has been
Congratulations,
approved.
it's been approved.
Send your passport.
I was just
and
like,
I was
what?
just laughing. I was just laughing, and I just thought that I think you got it.
And then because I was just like, I told him when he was like, I think I'm like, no, come on, like I just did my biometrics yesterday.
It was funny.
Do you understand? Like, so it was really funny. I'm like, how can they reply like right now? I just sent him my biometrics, and I was just like, okay. When he said it was a message, I was like, no, I'm sure it's to tell me that they've gotten my biometrics, but
Oh,
no,
I checked it.
it was send in your passports, like your visa. Your visa has been approved.
Thank you for applying.
Thank you for applying. Meanwhile, the biometrics message I was expecting actually came after.
Yes.
So it was just shocking. I was so surprised. You know, first of all, we danced and sang, and then I'm like, oh my god, I need to go tell my sister right now. So like I ran upstairs, I went to meet her, and I was like, sis, we got this. She was like, oh my god. We hugged each other and we were just screaming. Like, you know, it was such a happy moment.
Yeah, it was
like,
a happy moment.
It was a happy moment. It was a happy moment. And now it was a happy moment. Like, it was a happy moment. It was faith, because we had a professional shut us down and tell us that it's not going to work out, right? But, you know, and then my sister now told me that, you know, she had raised it up in January, like I mentioned earlier, but I was hesitant. And she was like that when I brought it up again and told her, she was very happy, because she was like that when she was in her kids' room, I think the same day that I told her that I heard it in my spirit, she was like, she saw me, like, you know when you just see someone in a flash, she saw me going into Canada, and she was just like, I need to apply for that visa. So when I now said it later that day that, oh, I heard this thing in my spirit, she was like, she told her husband, like, she told my brother, like, they're gonna give her. Like, so it was just like, we were super, super happy. And now we just want to mention that staying with them, like me staying with them and everything, it also really helped us build our faith. Like, that was another thing.
Yes. I can remember every time I come, because I do 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think every time I go there, I must learn one Christian song. And I can remember I was even asking about one song like that, and I think, because me, I'm actually terrible with lyrics. Really terrible.
To say the least. To say the least.
I'm really terrible, but it was good. You know, it draws closer.
Yeah.
To God.
Yeah.
And our faith actually increased.
Yeah, it really, really helped us build up our faith. And you know, many times that my sister would just tell me that, look, don't worry about this thing, you know, God has your back. And then it was also like, so another thing is that sometimes when you're going through like a process, God has thoughts of it in advance, and he has put people there to help you. So for us, these were our people. My brother's business partner as well, because he's an entrepreneur, he also, like, one day too, he told me in church, like, he just saw me and he was like, oh, this morning he got a message like from God to just tell me that this too shall pass.
Yeah.
So don't worry, this is going to pass. I had to tell my husband that it was after we had applied for the visa. It was after we had applied, and he just said that thing on the Sunday after we applied, and he was like, oh, you know, I just heard it in my spirit, he just told you that this too shall pass, you know, everything is going to be okay. I told my husband that is a confirmation. The second confirmation was my niece herself said that thing, like, oh, Auntie Jumoke, I'm gonna miss you. And I'm like, I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere. She's like, but I'm really gonna miss you. And I'm like, that was another confirmation. I'm like, this is happening, like, because we got this confirmation, and I told my husband that I'm keen into that. So yeah, that was it though. That was how it just worked out, and that was how I was able to come to Canada.
So she got the visa, right? So now, my job.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna stop here because we don't want to make the video
Okay, that's true.
overly long.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the job next week.
Because at the end of the day, you don't have control of what is gonna happen. You just have to do your own part. You know, for me then, for jobs, I'd be like, they should give me opportunity to go for that interview. I will chop. Oh, man, the way they want chopping me. But I was still very positive. I must learn from those, you know, mistakes and everything, and keep pushing, and, you know, support your partner if she believes in. So this, just if you think it's very sensible though, it's not like some stupid stuff, but if it's sensible, you have to just push them. You have to give them the support.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna complete this episode next week, our faith story. Please do not forget to like our videos. Do not forget to subscribe and share, please. Share. Till we see you guys again next week. Have a fantastic week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.